and the first one in there is the AP aging. So now we have the AP aging. Going to select the run button and run the AP aging. It defaults to 12:15. We want to bring it back in time to 11:30:14, like so. If we click down here, it will refresh automatically. This report looks familiar. It's got the A in it, but instead of AR, it's AP. What is AP? Accounts payable. That's who we owe. So instead of the amount that people owe us, which we then sorted by customer, we have the amount that we owe others, which we sort by what we call vendors, the people that we owe stuff to. Vendors, kind of sellers, store merchants. You can think of it, that's where the term, I believe, comes from. And we have the same kind of idea. We have the current, we have the 1 to 30 past due that we need to pay more readily, the 31 to 60 past due, the 61 to 90, and the over 90. This balance here would tie out to our balance sheet in the liability section under accounts payable. Scrolling down, scroll through the AP aging summary. If necessary, change the column widths so the entire report displays on your screen. Ours is displaying well, so we are okay. Going to go back down to page 80, and we have a new objective of to analyze a specific liability. That liability being, double click on balance of 3647.2. Alright, so let's go back over here. We're going to drill down once again using our quick zoom. For this balance being the 3647, we can click anywhere in this row. I'm going to double click on that, bringing us to this activity. It is consisting of these 4 bills. So let's see what else we want to do on that. And we obviously have this big bill here, so that's probably the one we want to look at. Double click on the 2835 amount. The detail of the bill appears. Notice that the bill documents sprinkler piping items purchased. So we're going, wow, that's a big bill. Let's look at that. And there we have the bill here, and we have this amount of the 2008-35 for our landscaping there that we could look into and question about. So we're going to scroll down here. I'm on number 3, which then says, when you have finished viewing the bill, close all windows. So again, before I close them all, I'm just going to copy them and save them as we go in case we need to turn those in. I'm going to do that with my Word document here for the bill. So I'm going to scroll back to QuickBooks. Again, we could print it as a PDF file. That's more than fine. We can't export it to Excel. We could also screenshot it to Excel, which might even be a better option. But I'm going to go ahead and screenshot it to our Word document here. I'm going to go to the Insert tab, going to go to the Illustration group, going to go to Screenshot and Screen Clipping, like so. And then we'll just highlight this bill and save that. And then I'm going to save here with the A drive floppy. And then I'm going to close this and go back to this one. We can do the same thing here. I don't want to screen clip this, even though it might be easy to do so. I would much prefer either a PDF or a Excel sheet when possible. So I'm going to go ahead and export this one to create a new worksheet, but I'm going to put it into the existing workbook. It's already going where we want it, therefore we can just export as we go, and it should open the existing workbook with a new worksheet that we will then rename. I'm going to make it large. I'm going to go over to the view and go to the page layout, select OK, go up to the View tab in the Windows group, unsplit the screen, double click on the tab to rename it and call it AP. Remember, you can't put a dash because it won't let you, because Windows thinks it's a coding thing. If you are using a Mac, then you can use a dash. Alright. And something. Okay. So then I'm going to go back to the normal view, and we can then save it and close it. Once again, if you wanted to print it as a PDF, you could go here and go to Save as a PDF, or you could then print it and then change the printer to the Qt PDF printer. Those are 2 options that are available to you. I'm going to go ahead and close this. I'm going to do this one more time for the AP aging report by going to the Excel and create new worksheet. I'm going to put it to an existing workbook and export. Once again, it will open up the existing workbook with a new worksheet, and we will then rename it. So I'm going to make it large. I'm going to go over to the View tab. I'm going to say OK. We're then going to go to the View group in the Windows and the split pane. Double click on Sheet 1. call it AP Aging Summary. And then I'm going to go back to the normal view and save and close. Then we can close that and see what we have next. Scrolling down to page 81, you can then read through and pause and read through these items. I'm going to skip to the next gray area, which has an objective of to create and print vendor balance summary. So number 1, from the report center, click the vendor and payables and then double click the vendor balance summary. In the dates section report tool bar, select all the vendor balance summary reports. Notice that the vendors are listed alphabetically. So we're going to go to the report center and vendors and payables. So report center, vendors and payables, we're looking for the vendor balances and we're looking for the vendor balance summary. So we're going to go ahead and run this report here. It's already selected to go to all, so we have that. Okay. And then we are looking like the picture here, so that is good. It's a good indication. Number 2 then says, to investigate, Scott suggests you look further into Nolan hardware balance. Once again, Nolan, okay. Double click the 960 balance and reveal the vendor balance detailed report shown in figure 513. So we're going to double click on Nolan again. So we're going to double click on this 960 being the largest amount in the series of amounts. So that would make sense for us to want to investigate it. Double clicking is the quick zoom feature. There we have the activity that is backing up this report. And so you can see that we have bills and payments. That's what the accounts payable will consist of. That's what a vendor will consist of. And we can then go back to our activity here. And I'm going down to page 82. Number 3 says, double click the 1037.95 amount to reveal the bill as shown. So I'm going to go back here. We got the amount of 1037.95 right there. I'm going to double click on anywhere in that row in order to see the bill like so. And we can see once again these items here. So click the Show PO button, which is a purchase order, to view the purchase order generated to order these items. So then we're gonna click the Show the Purchase Order. So this bill is related to a purchase order, meaning we sent out a purchase order and then we got the bill related to the purchase order. We're buying inventory, remember. So we requested the inventory. We don't report the inventory on our books until we receive the inventory, and therefore we need to, and that doesn't happen until we create the bill. So this PO is a little bit confusing. Purchase orders are a little confusing because the purchase order is one of the few types of things in QuickBooks that doesn't have a related journal entry to it, meaning it doesn't really affect the financial statements because we are not reporting the inventory until we get it, but we do need to have the purchase order in order to have them ship it to us. So there's the purchase order. We'll talk more about that later. And then we're going to scroll down to number 5, says close the purchase order, and then click Reports tab and the Transaction History button and scroll to the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead, might as well screenshot this as we go. So I'm going to go to the Word document, and I'm going to make sure that this is the last screen open before we close it, and go to the Insert, Screenshot, and we might as well take a screenshot as we go, just in case we need to turn this in so we don't have to go back into it and do it later. So there we have that. I'm going to go ahead and save that and then go back to the book. So now we want to close the purchase order, so I'm going to go ahead and close the purchase order like so. And then we want to go to the transaction history. So the transaction history, once again, are on these tabs. We have the vendor tab. Here's the transaction history over here. All right, and then we're going to scroll down to page 83, and we have this information. Scroll down the payment and credit section, and then double click the payment on 11/30 to view the related check used to pay this bill. So we're in a slightly different view screen, but I'm going to go ahead and go to this icon here. It says bill payment on 11/30 to view the check. So this is the check that was related to Nolan Hardware to pay this bill, the date being 11/30. So let's scroll down the screen. Number 7 then says, when finished viewing the report, close all windows. So again, I'm just going to screenshot these as we go to make sure that we have what we need to turn in at the end of this assignment. So I'm going to go to the Word document over here, select Insert, Screenshot, and take the clipping and copy this information in case we need to report that. Going to save that. Going to go back to the QuickBooks and close this and see the next window. The bill, we might need that too, so we might as well go ahead and go to the file, the Word document here. Going to go back to the Insert tab. Going to go to the Insert group and the Screenshot and clipping. And again, even if you're not working in QuickBooks on your practice, learning to get back and forth from a database and to learn how to screenshot and print reports and save reports will be useful no matter what place you are at. So this is a useful exercise, and although it can be somewhat tedious. I'm going to go ahead and close this. Then this one I'm going to export to an Excel document because I really don't want to screen clip this. I only want to screen clip things that cannot be exported and or sent to a PDF. So I'm going to create and then in an existing workbook and go ahead and export that. It's going to the location that we want it to go. So that is good. It should then open up the existing workbook with a new worksheet. There it has. Going to change the view. Going to say OK. Then we're going to go to the View tab and in Windows Group split it so that we can see the title. Double click on tab and change the name to Vendor Balance Detail. I'm going to go back to the first tab. Then I'm going to drag this to the end by clicking on it and dragging so you can see that arrow to the end. So it's in order of when we saved it. We can then hit the A floppy drive to save that. It's already in the location we want it to be. Then I'm going to go ahead and close this. Once again, we got the last report here. Let's do the same thing. We're going to go to Export, Create New, and it will then go to an existing workbook. It's going where we want it. We're going to export it one more time. It's going to open up that workbook once again with a new worksheet. There we go. We're going to go to the View tab. We're going to select OK. Then we're going to go to the View here and in the Windows group unsplit and double click on that worksheet to rename it to the Vendor Balance Summary. Then I'm going to go back to the normal view. I'm going to drag that to the end like so. Again, if you see these three dots, you can click this way and you can see the more detail that we have there. I'm going to save that like that. Then we can close this up. Then we can close that window and we're back to our reports here. Scrolling down, we have the end note. You can go ahead and read through that, and that is it for this one.